Tasmania too, because Tasmania is part of Australia, correct?
Yeah, QSO, that's correct. So, yeah, I suppose if you put them all together, that one and that one, yep, yeah, we might be around the same size, over.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, people don't realize that. They look at it on a map and they look at this island down in the South Pacific, and I mean, it looks big, but you wouldn't think it was as big as the U.S. I know it is, and I know it's a long way from one side to the other if you had to drive it or you have to fly it.
Yeah, roger, mate. Well, yeah, what show? We done a trip from Melbourne to Perth, Western Australia, and we drove right across the country and across the Nullarbor. And I tell you what, there's not much out there, mate. Bar of freaking some what do they call them? I've seen a camel, and yeah, well, there's a lot of kangaroos and stuff out there. It's just there's nothing out there. The road goes for miles and miles and miles. As far as you can see, yeah, the road goes straight.
Kind of like going through the prairies of Canada. You know what I mean? It's just flat and straight, miles and miles and miles of nothing except probably wheat fields and grain. And you're probably going to see some wild animals out there too. But I know you guys got the dingo, and you have the kangaroos, lots of them.
Yeah, QSO. Well, you know, when we pulled up at one of the roadhouses out there, because they don't have power, in some of them places out there, Joe, there's no power, and they have to run big generators for the servos to the petrol stations so they can run. So, yeah, most of the, well, a couple of the big servos out there had to use big generators to keep them running. So, yeah, it's amazing. You think they'd have power out there, but they don't on part of that journey, over.
That is amazing. So it's that remote out there. So would that be classed as the Northern Territories, or is that still south of the Northern Territories?
The Northern Territories up top in Darwin, up that way, up the top of Australia. Yeah, that's called, what is it? I just said it. The Nullarbor Plains. The Nullarbor Plains there, Joe. That's from, say, you go from Melbourne across to Adelaide, and then you go across the Nullarbor Plains over to Perth, Western Australia, over.
Roger on that there. So that must be pretty harsh country up there. It probably gets pretty hot in the summertime. Maybe not a whole lot up there, huh?
Oh yeah, mate, yeah, it does. And Perth, Western Australia is very hot. Yeah, our hot states are Perth, Darwin, Alice Springs, and Queensland. They're the hottest parts, over.
Oh, Roger on that there. And how about Cairns? I think Cairns is like tropical, right?
Yeah, Cairns is very tropical. Yeah, that's right up the top there in Queensland. Yeah, it's pretty nice up there too. If you like all your palm trees and stuff like that, that's where you'd want to head. It's very hot and sticky. It gets very muggy up there. So if you like the hot weather, that's the place to go, over.
Hey, Roger on that there. Yeah, I've watched YouTube videos of it because it's kind of like south of Indonesia. Once you get to the very tip up there, Cairns, and it looks like a jungle out there.
Oh yeah, it is like that. Yep, yeah, it definitely is. I've been there. Too hot for me. I don't like that real hot weather. I'd rather be down south, mate. Yeah, I like the cool weather, over.
I'm with you, man. Like working in it, I rather prefer to work in cooler weather. Summertime working in the heat, I don't get into it that much. Our summers here are about 75 to 80. You guys probably get a lot hotter, but our summers are dry here with low humidity, believe it or not, even though we're on this island. But right now, this time of the year, it's cooler outside. You know, tomorrow's going to be about 13 degrees Celsius, sunshine. I like temperatures for working like that.
Yeah, me too, mate, me too. I like that cool breeze, you know, like once it gets over 30, yeah, I don't like it. It gets a bit too hot. Over 30, 35, too hot. And we get, like probably a couple of days in the 40s, and that's cooking hot, over.
Oh, yeah, man, that is so hot. You know, I've only recorded one day in over 40 here, and that was in June 2021. We had this weird, called it a heat dome, come over our islands here, and it was 41 point, I think it was 41.9 or something. It was insane. Even a lot of our plants in the garden burnt.
Yeah, QSO, yep, that's what happens, yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember back in 2008, when Victoria had that big bushfire, Black Saturday. Do you remember that at all, eh?
I do remember, because I follow that stuff on there. They've had some pretty nasty fires down under.
Yeah, Roger, mate, that was one of the big ones, well, the biggest one, I think. And I lost my home. I used to live in a place called Strathfield, is up near the King Lake Ranges in Victoria, and that fire came, and yeah, we had to leave and get out of here because it took everything. It took all the houses around us, and yeah, we lost our home. And that was around
That's sad.
43, I think it was 43 or 44 degrees on that day. It was cooking hot, over.
Oh my God, there's no even hope in hell to get a bushfire like that under control. It's so hot. It's just unbelievable. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That is awful. And I think about that here, living on this island that's heavily forested. It just takes maybe somebody throwing a cigarette out the window of their car or something like that, or a careless camper lighting a fire. And this island could go up in flames. We get a lot of forest fires in British Columbia pretty much every summer, and people do lose their homes, and that is sad.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's bad. But, you know, I was going to stay there that day. It was coming over our ridge, that fire, and it was coming at a high speed. And we had high winds that day. And the only thing I could grab was my dogs. I grabbed my dogs in the back of the unit and took off. And, yeah,
Smart.
lucky I did, mate. So, yeah, now when I smell smoke, I'm out of there, over.
That's exactly what I would do. I'd grab my dog, grab the loved ones, and get out of there, man. Everything else is materialistic. Yeah, it does suck to lose everything, but you get out of there with your life and your pets, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's what you got to do. We had a couple of neighbours just down from us. We're up on a big hill and we could see it coming, you know. And yeah, the ones in the valley, there was a couple of people stayed in Strathfield. It was only a small little community, and yeah, there was the community up there in our little township. There was only something like I don't know, 40 people, and 9 people died in Strathfield. So it was a major hit, over.
That is unbelievable, man. It's just so catastrophic, those forest fires, though. And especially if you got some really dry, flammable stuff around, because I know eucalyptus trees, they love to burn. They're full of oil, man. And they go up like a flame, like a Roman candle.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. We had a big, like a Christmas tree, you know, a big conifer tree. I don't know what they were called, but they were big trees. Yeah, and they had a big row of them along the side going.
Norfolk Island pine.
And mate, they just exploded. Yeah, when we went back, there wasn't nothing there, mate. They were all gone. They burnt down to the roots, you know, in the ground. It was amazing how quick they went, and they were big trees,
Unreal, man. That is one hot fire. I'm guessing those were probably Norfolk Island pine or Cook Island pines.
Yeah, they were big pine trees. I don't know. I brought the place and they were already there. But yeah, they went up. Yeah, it was amazing. When you went back, like where I lived, there was a lot of trees. It was very tree and up in the hills. And yeah, when we were let back, we could go back after. I think it was 3 weeks. They wouldn't let us go back. And when we went back, like, you could see over the mountains to the next mountain. You know, before that you could not see that because of the trees,
That is unbelievable. So there's just nothing left when you went back. It would have been just, I guess, just the foundation of your home.
Yeah, that was it. The only thing that was left of our home was concrete stumps. And even they were all broken in with the heat. But yeah, our place was like a big timber place. And that was, yeah, there was nothing left. Just the tin roof. That was just all buckled up and, yeah, gone. Yeah, it was something, yeah, I never thought I'd see something like that. But yeah, I'm glad I left, over.
Oh, I'm glad you did too, man. You know, I would have done the same thing. Grab what you have to do. Grab what you need to get and get out of there. and everything else, yeah, is materialistic. Yeah, it does suck. You probably lost a lot of memories there, a lot of old photos and things like that.
Oh yeah, lost everything, mate. I walked out of that, went out of that place with a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and my car and my dogs, and me family. But yeah, pretty much everything I owned up there got burnt. But you know, you can always start again, mate. Over.
Absolutely, man. That's what I would do too, man. Everything else, you can be replaced. Some of the memories, you got memories. The photos, probably not. But you got your dog, you got your wife, you got your kids. You're out of there. You're good to go.
Yeah, that's it, mate. I remember when I went in to tell my missus and my daughter, come on, we're going to get out of here. And my missus was saying to my daughter, download the photos off the computer. I said, you don't have time. It's on top of the hill. And what I did, I just ripped the computer out, pulled the leaves out of it, threw it in the car, and we took off. So we got some photos because they were on the computer, but yeah, it was... My missus wanted to sit there and download it. I mean, not a good idea, right?
No, especially when the flames are rapidly encroaching. And I do have a lot of photos stored on my laptop, so I would do the same thing. I would just grab my laptop and go. I wouldn't stick around to do any downloading. I'd grab it, get in the car, and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I always say that to an hour as a joke, you know, like, oh, you got to download. You know, she just looks at me and sort of, you know, she knows what I'm having a crack at her. But yeah, I guess she thought it was way away, you know, but she didn't realise it was on top of the hill, coming down the hill. So, yeah, we're pretty lucky. But anyway, you know, we were lucky and we seen it. So, yeah, thank God for that, over.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys got out, man. That's awesome. So you live in a different town now, or did you go back to the same town?
No, my missus wouldn't go back to Strathhill. She wouldn't go back there, so we sold the land. We had 80 acres of land there. Sold that, and we ended up buying the place I'm at now. So we went across the other side we're in a place called Nigambi, which is it's more up over towards the north of Melbourne, and yeah, this one's 100 acres. But I don't live on the land at the moment. We built a house in the township, so we live in the township, and I just have my radios and stuff out here, over.
That's awesome, man. You gotta love that. 100 acres, man. Nobody to bother you. Yep, that's beautiful. We have acreage here too. Just a couple of acres, but it's we're out in the boonies here. We live out where it's very quiet. Nobody around us. That's the way I like it, man. 100 acres would be perfect.
Yeah, well, the kids ride the motorbikes, Joe. You know, they go out and ride the motorbikes and have a bit of fun. I have fun with my radio and got my tractor. I go out and just do a bit of farming, you know, just keep all the grass down so we don't get any surprises from them snakes, you know. They like snakes, and so we keep it all nice and tidy and keep the grass down, and yeah, it's all good.
Oh yeah, I used to ride a lot of dirt bikes when I was younger. I still ride motorcycles, but I have my street bikes. But I grew up on a farm there, so I used to ride my dirt bikes all the time, and that's a good way for kids to grow up, have a lot of fun.
Well, it keeps them off the street, mate. You know, yeah, they got their dirt bikes, and I built up like a bit of a motorbike track out in one of the paddocks there, and with a couple of jumps and all that, and they love it. They come up here quite often, and you know, have a ride and have a camp and all that, and that's the fun of it. You know, a lot of the time now you can't ride bikes. There's nowhere really to ride them if you live in town. You know, if you live in the city. Yeah, there's not a lot of places they give you now to ride bikes, over.
Oh, I totally agree with you, man. Nope, I haven't lived in the city. I always lived out in the countryside, and we always had motorcycles. I grew up with them. We had a dirt racing track around the back of our acreage. All the friends from down the road would come down with their dirt bikes, and we'd rip around. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, so that's what we do up here, and there's so many kangaroos up here, Joe. You'd be, you know, they're just everywhere. One of the main road that we come to our property on, that's one of the worst roads in Australia for kangaroos, cars and kangaroos, over.
Isn't that interesting? Here we have deer. We have deer everywhere. When I drive to work in the morning, Tuesday to Thursday, I work part-time early in the morning. There is deer everywhere. And often people hit them with their vehicles and it wrecks your vehicle.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, that's what happens here, you know. And on the other mountain, if you go over to a place called Flower Dale, over that way where I used to live over at Strathfield, they have deer in the mountains here. Yeah, so, you know, I never knew they had them, but they do it because I was coming home from work one evening when I got afternoon shift, and the bloody big deer come running out in front of me. So, that gave me a surprise, over.
Unreal. Yeah, I didn't realize you had deer down there. I know you got lots of kangaroos. That is wild. Yeah, we're overrun with deer here, man. I mean, you want some good eating, you just have to go out there and shoot yourself a deer or get your crossbow and bag a deer because they're everywhere here. We have to fence our gardens off, otherwise a deer will come in and eat our gardens.
Yeah, QSO. Well, you know, I don't know. Have a listen out for 176. Trevor, he lives up in the hills here in Victoria, and he had to do the same because a bloody deer was coming in eating all his fruit and veg. I think it was fruit they were eating. And the story goes, Joe, in the Second World War, the Canadians brought over a couple of deer, and that's how it started. That was the rumour that's going around, over.
That's interesting. So now you have deer down under. How about that? I know Trevor. Yeah, I talked to Trevor. That's World Radio 176, right?
Yeah, Roger. He's a good bloke. I've met Trevor. He lives on the other hill. He lives over the other side there. And, yeah, good guy. Yeah, he gets deer up there. He'll tell you about the deer if you ask him about them, over.
I'm going to have to do that next time I talk to you. I've talked to Trevor a lot of times. Your signal is fantastic, Mick. Unbelievable. Like, seriously, consistently 30, 40 over. I'm shooting a video gate right now. I'll upload it before I go to bed tonight. I'll try to get it on my YouTube channel for you.
Yeah, QSO, mate. I did watch that other video, Joe. You know, the one we done last time, when we went to AM and FM and, yeah, all that stuff. And, yeah, that was pretty cool, mate. Yeah, I was getting across here pretty well. I mean, you're banging in here. I've got you 10 over, mate. And sometimes 20, you know, 30. You're doing a great job. It seems like when I get you, we have good conditions. When I first heard you, I only was getting you on about a 5. But then you come straight up. So, yeah, we must be in the right spots, huh?
You betcha, man. We betcha. So you're on the flat side, right? I'm on the flat side, pointed right at you.
Yeah, Roger, mate. I'm on the flat. I'm on the 5 element. I've got a 5 element up on the tower there, and that's what I'm talking on, over.
Oh, it's awesome. It is working so good. I'm running the flat side Yagi SY3 stereo beam, and yeah, man, like seriously, you're very loud, very, very loud, way up into the red. I don't even think you've gone below the red.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, that old 5 element that I got up on the tower, Joe, I've had that for about 28 years, mate. It's been in my shed. I only put it up about 8, 9 years ago. And, yeah, it's been a bloody good antenna. It's an old one, but a good one, over.
Oh, it's working good, man. And how high do you have it up on the tower? How high is it? Hey, Mick, how high do you have it?
Yeah, I've got it about 15 metres up on the tower. Could be 18. I think it's 15. I do a knowledge at a mobile station out there. I don't know where you are, but I do a knowledge at there one thing. Yeah, about 15, or I think it's 15 there, Joe. Over.
Wow, that is amazing, man. It's working so well. It sure makes a difference, flat side to flat side, Mick, when we're working this real long distance stuff, because, man, we've been talking probably for 25 minutes now.
Yeah, Roger, mate. Yeah, no. Like I say, you could be at my front gate. I could be making you a cuppa. I could be making you a cup of tea or coffee, whatever. Yeah, you're coming in that good. Hang on, Joe. We got a breaker, mate. I'm not sure where he's at. I think it's a mobile. I think he's in the States. I'm not sure. That station breaking the frequency. Go ahead.
Man, he's booming in here from Australia. That's Mick. And, 20, Unit 20 down in Australia.
213, Anchorage, Alaska. Wow, you're making a good trip in. Did you say you're a mobile?
I've talked to 213 before. Wow, he's smoking in here from down under. It's funny, because I'm pointed southwest, so I'm not hearing Alaska.
Okay, all right. Looks like you want a 7 and an 8. And beautiful audio. You're cutting through really nice there. You got Unit 20 operator Mick, and we're located in Victoria, in Australia, mate. And the other station is Joe, UDX 791 up there on the Gulf Islands in Canada there, over. Yeah, that's the one, Jungle Joe, that's it, over. No problem, mate. You take it easy in that car, that ute. You take it easy in that ute, mate. And have a good one. 73s from down under. Okay, 181, nice trip in, 79, coming through to Victoria. Okay, hey Joe, you're popular out there, Joe. You got 213 was waving to say hello to you from Alaska, and you got 181. I didn't get exactly, but he was in Canada. He's in Canada somewhere. We're waving to you, over.
Hey, we're waving back at him. We've definitely talked to 213 many times. You know, I could barely hear him because I got my beam pointed southwest towards Australia. And Alaska, of course, is due north, kind of northwest of us. But I could barely hear him out there. If I swung my beam around, I'd pick him up. But we're waving at you, 213 up there in Alaska. And 181, yeah, good. You made contact with them. They're probably coming in pretty good for you there, Nick.
Oh yeah, they're both cracking in. They're both doing around that 7-9 signal. The 213 was in his mobile in his Dodge truck. So yeah, that's pretty cool to get a mobile from up there. That's pretty cool just to make contact, but with a great signal like that. He's obviously got it set up right, mate, over.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Alaska is probably about, I'm going to say 1,400 miles north of where I'm at least. It's quite far north, but straight shot, straight north of us.
Yeah, QSO. Hey, that's fantastic. Love getting up that side of the world there, Joe, you know, Canada. We don't normally get it too well. So yeah, it's pretty good. I remember back in the 90s when I was on the radio talking to Statue of Canada, Ontario, there's another place I used to talk to. I used to get them quite often, but I haven't spoke with Canada for a long time. So, yeah, it was only I was starting to hear it when I first got over here there, mate, over.
Hey, Roger, on that there, it's funny how it kind of shifts after a while. The DX pattern, like it's like California for us. We didn't get it for a couple of years, and now it's like every day California's in there. But we're fortunate here on the Gulf Islands on the west coast here, off the west coast of British Columbia. We get Australia, Central Pacific, and Southeast Asia, which is a good thing. So as long as I can remember talking on the radio since 1977, I've been working South Pacific DX to Australia consistently, which is a good thing.
Yeah, Roger, mate. It's always a pleasure to make the contact into the US and Canada. It's a lot of fun. That's my favourite part of the world I like talking to. So it's always good when you turn the radio on and you hear that part of the world. It's a lot of fun on my end, over.
You betcha, bro. Well, man, this has been a great QSO. I tell you what, it's been amazing. It's like I say, it's like you're sitting right next to me. I really like DX like this. There's nobody else in there, Mick, except you. You're the only one I hear on this frequency.
Yeah, well, at the moment, you're the same. You're coming in. I've got you about 10 over. You were peaking up around the 30 at one point. Now you dropped back down to a 10. But it's up and down, but you don't go below a 10, mate. So how good's that, eh? Mother Nature's being very kind to us. And it's good when you get propagation like that. It's not often you get it that well, over.
No, I know. It usually fades out, or you get somebody in there making some noise, or you know, it's just this the way it is. And right now the time here is 5:45 5:45 p.m. Pacific time. It is Monday evening.
Yeah, Roger, mate, I'm just looking to see what the time is here. It's 12:44. 12:44 in the afternoon, mate. Tuesday afternoon. So, hey, Joe, you're talking to the future and I'm talking to the past, over.
Yeah, I gotta love that, eh? And you know, when I talk to Hawaii, they're actually 3 hours behind us. So Hawaii's 3 hours behind us. If I talk a little bit farther out from Hawaii, it's 4 hours behind us. And you guys are like a day ahead of us.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be good if I could give you the auto numbers, mate, over?
That'd be awesome.
Oh, never mind, mate. Never mind. Yeah, I always put the lotto on. Always put it on. You never know your luck. You got to be in it to win it, mate, over.
You betcha, brother. You betcha. Yeah, well, I mean, I know if I was to fly to Australia, I'd probably have some pretty good jet lag. It's a long flight from here, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I know, Joe. I've been to America twice now, and yeah, it's a long flight. It is a long flight, and but it's worth the while. You know, you sit there for I think it's 19, 20 hours or something, and yeah, but when you get there, the excitement takes over. You know, the first time we went was like, oh man, it was a buzz. You know, from a young kid, I've always wanted to go to the US. And when I got there, it was everything I thought it would be, over.
Oh yeah, the U.S. is a great place, man. That's where we usually vacation, except we go to Hawaii. We fly to the Hawaiian Islands from here, and it's not that far. It's just over 5 hours, and we fly out of Victoria or Vancouver Airport, International Airport, and when we get to Hawaii, you flick the clock back 3 hours. It's even better.
Yeah, we get more time, eh? I remember when we flew into LA, and I was wrecked, mate. For about 3 days, I was just tired. I just couldn't get the time, you know, like it was all just, yeah, it just throws you right out. And the funny thing was, driving the car over there is completely a new experience. You're sitting on the passenger seat driving the car on the wrong side of the road. It's really weird.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. In Australia, you guys are on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah. Well, when we got to the airport and we hired the car, I walked around to get in the passenger side, you know, like... and I was driving, and my missus goes, what are you doing? I go, oh yeah, shit. So, you know, I had to figure that one out, and then I had to figure out how to drive out of the airport. And so when I worked out, I thought, okay, what I'll do, I'll follow the car in front of me, and wherever they're going, that's where we're going until we get out on the freeway, over.
Oh my God, what an experience, or even a nightmare, eh? Like, that's the thing that would freak me out if I went to Australia or England. I'd have to be driving on the opposite side of the road. You know, there's a lot of people on our island that drive actually right-hand side vehicles. They get these vehicles from across the seas, Japan or wherever they are, and the steering wheel is on the right-hand side. So there is actually quite a few of those driving around on our island, and it would be kind of weird for me to drive on the right-hand side vehicle and learn to shift gears with my left hand.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know, I know back in the, you know, like the 80s and back in the 80s, 70s, if you bought a car from the US and you bought it to Australia, you couldn't drive it until you got it converted over, you know, the steering on the other side. But nowadays you can buy a car from the US and you can drive it the way it is. So, you know, it's funny, you see these cars driving down the road, but no one's driving it. The passenger's there, but no one's in the driver's seat. But, you know what I mean? Back in the day, that's what it was like. And now, yeah, you see the cars coming down the road and they're driving it from the other side. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I noticed when I went to America, there was a couple of cars there. The police had, I can't remember what they were called, but in Australia they're called a Commodore, and same car that was called a Commodore. Over there, I can't remember what it was called. It was a Chevy, but I can't remember the name of it, over.
I know what you're talking about, and I also know what you're talking about with the person driving on the opposite side. It's like when I see these right-hand side vehicles, and I should be used to it by now. I see them coming at me down the road on the opposite side, but there's nobody driving on the left-hand side, because we drive on the left-hand side, right? But you don't have to get them converted here. You're okay. You